Hi everyone, welcome. So we're doing a content creation sprint, and basically I'll be showing you what I intend to create for my own target audience and making adjustments to the plan as we go. Today's session is different. So you could pause me or have your questions ready. But basically I just want to show you how I will do my plan without any um, gimmicks. I'll be using just two platforms. The platforms I'm using are Canva and Google Docs. So I'm using platforms that you can have free access to, not necessarily paid access. So this will ensure that you can do this yourself, you can do it at home, and that's what DIY branding is all about. So for those that don't know me, my name is DK Jonah, and I started DIY branding in 2016 to teach people how to do it themselves because when it came to branding and creating a personal brand, posting content online and doing anything to make yourself stand out online, I realized that most people were striving to go viral and they were not relevant. So DIY branding came about to teach people how to do it themselves, but ensure they're doing it in a way that they are not compromising who they are. With content creation, I always say content creation is about I take three things into consideration. And we're just going to look at those three things for my target audience. And I'll put a column to the right and we'll start. Let me know how the audio is and if I have to connect my mic. If my audio is not clear, please let me know. My eyes are not in the content in the comment section, so please unmute yourself and let me know how it goes. All right, so how is the audio?
It is breaking actually.
Okay, so it's breaking and it's this thing. Can someone use another device? And so maybe use your phone to check the YouTube channel. Let's see how it is on YouTube. And well, from next week we'll have someone monitoring the YouTube channel. So if there are comments there, it could go. So Mary, please put a link in the WhatsApp group and the Telegram group so that the others can join us. Now, my audience, who do I create for? I create content for people I refer to as DIY entrepreneurs. So who are DIY entrepreneurs? Other people may not refer to them as DIY entrepreneurs, but it's for startups, people with ideas, creatives, social media managers, and anybody that just wants to post online. So these are the people I create for. Why is it important for me to identify what this session is going to be about, who I'm focusing on? It's important I understand that I'm not creating for myself. I'm creating for individuals that need to create, that need to put something out there, whatever they call it. So they will define what it is to them, and I have to define who I am. So I am, and what qualifies me? What does a brand do? We can just use DIY branding as a brand. It's a fictional brand, but DIY branding is a platform that helps to equip people with the skills and resources they need to make things happen. Now, if you just see this as a company, it may not make sense to you because you're like, okay, you're a platform, you're a brand that helps people to equip people with the skills and resources they need to make things happen. What's the connection between DIY entrepreneurs and DIY branding? It's the content that they create, it's what they do. How do they do this? They provide a service for small businesses. So they simply provide services to help small businesses understand their companies and sell to their audience. Now, most of what I am doing here, you should have done it previously because you know who you are, you know what you do, you know how you do it. Now, we know who we are. What do we do this? How do we do that? How do we do this? How do we bring the connection to serve the DIY entrepreneurs? We provide them with resources, our planners and courses. We also post for give them marketing strategy. Social media management. Any questions so far? Is there anything you would like to add so far on this? We're going to make this interactive as much as possible. So please, let's try and talk. Is there anything I missed that will give us an idea what the brand we are talking about today is doing? All right, so every month you should have a goal. So if we say we're helping DIY entrepreneurs by equipping them with the skills and resources they need to make things happen, we have a goal to do this every month. Sorry? Catherine, what did you say?
Sorry, I wasn't talking to you. I mistakenly unmuted myself, but I'll mute myself back.
Okay, all right, fantastic. So now there's a goal that I want to achieve. My goal is to help people, but what specifically, how do I want to help them? I can say I want to help them to be more productive. More productive. It's vague, but it's a good it's a good goal to have. Then we can bring our teams on that we want to talk about, the subjects we want to talk about, and all the other things. Now, why did I think about productivity? It's about managing the resources they have, not the resources they wish to have. I'm just going to do a recap. What we're doing simply is going through a content marathon for a brand with a timer on. We're trying to see what do we need to do in order to create content. To create content, you have to know who you are creating for, and how you are going to help them. So we are DIY branding. We help DIY entrepreneurs by giving them the resources they need. What are those resources? We do social media management. We create planners and courses. We give them marketing strategies, and we help them to improve themselves. So we have said, okay, our goal for this month is, all right, which is the goal I have for February. So everything I'm doing here is my content plan for February. My goal for February is I want people to be more productive. I want people to think more about how they can use the limited resources that they have to get things done. That is my goal. So it's about talking about time management, or I can actually just say, rather than making it just time management, getting things done. So if you're on the call, what you're doing is think about your own audience. What team do you want to focus on? So if I'm talking about getting things done, it's about time management and productivity. So those are the things that come under time, the subjects that come under the team. Getting things done is about time management, productivity, mindset. All these things come under getting things done. How do you do this? How are you more productive? Simple. Productivity, getting things done. So this is what I have said I'm talking about. I'm going to talk about productivity, and then I can have one of my topics being, I can now think of different topics under productivity, and that's part of my calendar. But I want to have more than one topic. Now, when it comes to getting things done and productivity, let's have a conversation. What are the things that limit people from getting things done? What are the topics you can talk about? We can talk about time management. We can talk about time management. We can talk about books people can read to improve the way they do things. We can talk about productivity. We can talk about tools and skills. tools and skills, tools and resources, sorry, then skills will be separate. Now, all these things I'm writing here can be used later. Another thing that prevents people from getting things done is their mindsets. How did I come about this topic again? Like I said, I'm building my content strategy for you, and then I'm going to go ahead and design. How did I come across this strategy? I said, I want to help entrepreneurs, DIY entrepreneurs, improve the way they get things done. I want to help them with ideas, because some people can have all the financial resources, but if they don't know how to manage themselves and manage others, they don't get things done. So I said, all right, I'm going to talk about time management. I'm going to recommend books. I'm going to talk about productivity, which is getting things done. I'm going to talk about tools and resources. What skills do you need, and mindsets? These are some of the topics that I can talk about. Now, when it comes to time management, what is the major problem people have? I may know the answer to that question. I may not know. All these things are going to go into my content strategy, so not to worry. What's the problem people have when it comes to time management or getting things? Okay, what's the problem people have when it comes to getting things done? What problems do people face when it comes to getting things done? Does anybody know? There are a couple of ways to go about it. You can look at topic module to see what people are looking at what people are searching for when it comes to getting things done. So let's see if they will let us. It's now charged. Try it out for free. 30 queries. Oh, we won't use topic module because we have to sign up. Let's just try a Google search. But topic module is something you should sign up for. I can't remember what this thing I used. So we said problems people face getting things done. Why is it difficult to get things done? These are 10 reasons it's difficult to get things done. So from here, we can already see that there are lots of searches about this topic already. We said they don't trust themselves. They have too many distractions. They have the overthink. You focus on non-essential items and things like this. You are not organized. So we've already seen a couple of topics on this one when it comes to the problem. So we go lack of organization. You do a post on it. Lack of organization. What else did we see on that page? Can anybody remember? Is anybody on this call?
Yes, ma, but I didn't see the page you're on.
Okay, so what problems do people face when it comes to getting things done? What problems?
I think time management, consistency.
Lack of consistency. And there are a couple of other things that people do. When it comes to getting things done, what are the objections people have to getting things done? What are questions? We won't look at answers today, we'll look at questions. How do I manage my time? What are the questions you ask when it comes to time management? Let's go into the else. Let's not ask people. Sometimes you can ask what are the questions you ask for yourself when it comes to managing time?
Like, how long will it take you to achieve a particular task?
How long would it take you to achieve a particular task? What other questions are people asking when it comes to getting things done? What books? What are the best productivity books or things like that? And you can think of other things, but objections, when it comes to time management and objections, what are 1 or 2 objections you have? No one can stop procrastinating. If you procrastinate, you're lazy. What are the objections you have to procrastination or getting things done? Is there any other objection? All right. So you look at your values, it's a value added goal. Our value for us is more about integrity. That's one of the value I have. But if you look at this, when you see value, you may think about that. If you have this form, change it to value added content. And when you look at value added content, the concept changes. Value added content is educational content. Our educational content can come from one of these, where we just take these topics and look for educational content on time management, but we want to keep it simple. Brand awareness content, we are selling something, but we also have our YouTube channel, which makes it a promotional content. Brand awareness content is what you do and how you want people to know about your brand. What do you stand for? So it could be following trends that support self-care. So we can look at quotes on self-care as our brand awareness content for the month. And once you feel this, is there any events? Yes, Emma has Emma's workshop. Monday training. So when you're feeling this, you need to feel it for your own brand. I am just telling you the events that I have coming up. Monday training. So we're going to have, I think we have 4 Mondays this month. So we're going to have 4. Yours might be different. You may have a podcast guest, and some of them will repeat. My promotional post is the plug. What are we selling? We are selling the planner. We are selling the, we're promoting the Monday nights and the email marketing class. Our partnership post is email marketing. That's something we are promoting this month. Do we have any deadlines? Yes, we have a couple of deadlines that we want to meet. Is there a deadline for registration? So when you're filling this for your own client, you're going through your client's calendar. You're looking through every single thing they are doing. When you are able to do this, you are able to now say, okay, if I want to shoot a video this month, this is a task, these are the resources I require, this is the due date. Why am I feeling this with you guys? So that you understand how to feel it. We started feeling it last week and we're continuing again this week because I've not received anybody's on. So I want to assume that you guys have not filled it. If you filled it, fine. If not, it's still an addition. The collaboration I have is still, I'm on a Twitter space this week. So that's my collaboration. Am I getting featured? Yes. Twitter. I have solves that I'm getting featured. All these things have to go onto my calendar. When you know what needs to go onto your calendar, you are able to now plan your task to say, this is what I need to do. So for example, if I've given you a project to work on for a client and you're posting for a client or other clients, you'll be able to take all that into consideration when you are planning. If you are a brand, you have a course coming up and then you are so putting your promotional content and other types of content, you'll be able to take everything into consideration because you have understood what needs to be done. So I'm filming on Friday. What do I need to do? I need to think of my scripts. I need to look at my promotional, I need to do my landing pages or sign up pages for the courses because we are selling something and we have a video that we're filming. So this is the script for the video. I already know that this is what I need to do. I have to write the resources required, and I'm filling February 5th. This has to be ready by February 3rd. If I'm doing a landing page, where are the resources required? I already know the resources required. What are the resources you require to do what you need to do? So your task, if you need resources, if I need to pay somebody, if I need to do an advert, whatever I need to do, I need to plan it properly. What I'm just showing you is simply how to plan your own content so that you will be able to sell it properly. We won't look at this promotional one in more detail, but basically what it is you list your product, you talk about the features, you talk about the benefits, who it's for, why do they need it, how will they use it, when will they use it, and objections that will prevent them from using it. So when you're writing your caption, you can take this into consideration. If we have time, I will come back to this and I will use the planner to do this, and we can now use it later. So I'm just going to assign it to Timmy so she will remind me if I have time, I should come back to that. But basically, that's what that does. It just helps you plan your stuff. Now, how often do you want to post online? It depends. I suggest posting twice a day so that you're not selling all the time, but you can post once a day or twice a day, depending on what you want. So we're going for twice a day because we have quite a lot on our calendar. So Monday is supposed to be different from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we're going to create a content calendar with everything taken into consideration. If you choose 3 times a day, there's one for you for that. 4 times a day, there's one for you for that. And this is basically when you do your plan, your daily post. When you've now done your post, you come here and you break it down into further details, because this one will be repeated. This one keeps changing. What we're doing now is kind of creating your content calendar for the month for anyone. Does anybody have questions so far? All right, no. So let's go back to the top of the page so we can see our monthly goals and our content. So we said we have value-added content. We have different types of content that we want to create, but our subject is on productivity and getting things done. We're going to recommend books on productivity. We're going to look at time management and other things. So what I will then do is I come to Canva. I started doing this already. I go to home page. I click on create blank post, then I name it for the month. So this can become unlocking CC February, because it's still going to be the same thing that you're doing. Number one, you know your goal. Your goal is to help small businesses do better businesses. So what are you doing for small business? Think about it. If you're a small business, what kind of content will you like to see? And we've said we're going to teach the small business owners or talk to them about why they need to improve the way they manage their time, why they need to stop procrastinating. So those are the target areas we're looking at. So we can say, all right, Mondays, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we have different posts. So what I usually do is I will label it Monday, Tuesday, but you get my drift. Every day I would have what I want to post specifically written out here. I can copy it from the Google Docs and bring it here, but it makes me plan my content in advance. Sometimes we will look at, today we're going to look at just single post, and if the need arises for us to do a carousel post, I will let you know. But let's see. Our goal is to be more productive, manage the resources that they have and not the resources that they wish they have. So it's my focus for the month. I can decide to be petty and just put it here and say, hello, February, this is our focus for the month. And that makes us, people to hold us accountable for what we said we were doing. In order to do this, I already know the brand fonts that I'm using, but for this design, I'm going to be using different fonts so that you guys can see how fonts will play a role. When it comes to managing designs, I use templates, but then I make them work for me. I would see how it works and make changes to it. So I've made changes, a little bit of changes to this with Hello February, and then I can write my caption. What I usually do on Canva is I take my caption in the notes and then write the caption I want or the idea when I'm not sure. So Hello February, blah, 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 blah. I can now come here and write my notes. But I know this is my Tuesday post because February 1st is a Tuesday. I already know that's Tuesday 1st. I said, write your slogan or whatever you want to do. Or I can just put it as a picture and a calendar, and that is no Gragra logo. Simple, not stressful, but it's almost the same thing as the other one. Then I said I'm going to talk about 5 books that changed my life. That's another post. If I had written the notes I wanted, I would have that here. So now we've said 5 books that changed my life. We can just Google top books on productivity or time management. To do that, I'll go to Amazon. And I'm like, should we say productivity or time management? What do you want to do? Because we said it's getting things done.
Productivity.
Productivity. All right. So productivity. And those could be 5 books that I would recommend for people. So I will look at the results and then I can take books from here and I can just put Amazon's best, the top 5 books recommended by Amazon. Or I can go to my own archives and see what I have written or what books I have read that I believe would help people. This one could be a post that based on Amazon, these are the best books to read. Or you can go to the top seller books, but still look at different ways you can do that. Or you can just go to Google and do the same thing. If you just say getting things done, it's a stress-free productivity approach. There's a book on getting things done, but this is the master book on productivity. It's the best book on productivity I've ever read, and everybody recommends it. So you can see getting things done. Yeah, they give you this post here. It already gives you 4 books that are good on productivity. And all these 4 books are books that I would recommend because I read books on productivity and getting things done. So I can say these are the 4 books I want to recommend for people that I believe would help them, and add one more book. Because the one thing I always talk about that book, I always call it The Power of One. Eat That Frog is another amazing book. So I can recommend those books, and that will be this post done. Then I write my caption. So what we are doing now is just planning and brainstorming. We'll go into creation soon. So like I said, I've already started doing this, and this was just something I was playing with. And if I want to share a specific book, and I can say share this book by, and I'll be able to say this productivity book I have talked about. When we talked about brand awareness, I said brand awareness is making people understand who you are. What you're trying to do with that type of content is to make yourself more approachable. We talk about the know, like, trust factor. How do you get people to know you and trust you? So I want everybody to think about this while we're doing this. Paint the picture of the time you were most vulnerable. What did you learn? How did you resolve what you were going to? Why are you thankful for it? And this can be a post you put up tomorrow. When was the time you were the most vulnerable? The most vulnerable I have been was when I talked about XYZ. Paint that picture. You are not telling lies. You are actually being honest and vulnerable to people. This just gives you steps and pointers of what to talk about when you're talking about this topic. But sometimes what I do is I get prompts that can help me answer the question better. So I've put this here as the most vulnerable I have been. I can now design this later. And one question to ask before you hire me is something I was working on also. So when it comes to my content planner, I look at what I want to achieve and then start quoting things and putting things down here. If I want to help people become better, I will look for quotes on how to be motivational quotes on achieving things. If I want to talk about imposter syndrome, I would actually do that. So this is the one I was working on earlier before we came, but we moved to this one so we can work on this. So how will I do this? I'll type on Canva and type quotes. If I'm not a good designer, different templates for quotes come up, and just pick one and use. Sometimes I go to the end, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I pick two and then combine them. But I like this, it's quite simple. And I may want to change something about this to make it mine. Always remember to edit it to your brand color and ensure that you are this thing. So we can get a quote. We usually have quotes that we've kept somewhere that we use, a bank of quotes, and we just pick from there. So if I want quotes on time management, all I have to do is quotes on time management or getting things done. Because some people don't believe in time management, some people do. So if we just do quotes on getting things done, you're going to get some actionable quotes, and you can use some of those quotes as the quotes that you will use for your post for the month. So I'm said, okay, I want to help people that are afraid, that are working 24/7, are not seeing results. They want to grow, but they don't know what to do. They've taken too many courses. So I've stepped into the shoes of this person and I want to help them. What kind of quotes can I give them that will not just ginger them, but will inspire them to be more? So I will go through the quotes on this list or any other list, and then I can take this one that says, the bad news is time flies, the good news is you are the pilot, which is helping them understand that they play a major role in whatever they want to do. I go back to Canva and I just take that quote and replace it with this. And I will do this. So this is just a simple way to get your calendar complete. We've talked about, so this is just one post done, but you may want to make more changes to this. So you can do time, and different time things can come, but we go to elements instead and put time because we want to get a picture or a video that can go with this. You can say you want to go with time in an hourglass, time in this, because it says something that's about this. If this doesn't work because you can't see this, then you go for something else that you know will work with your design. Always move things around. Don't just say, oh, this was where the design is, I must have it this way. You can still move things around to make it suit what you want it to be, of your own preference. It doesn't have to be the same. I will definitely take this off and put this here, then add the company logo. If I said, I think I may prefer this black look, I'll probably just do the same thing and change it to the black look. But you keep making changes the more you practice. Rome wasn't built in a day. Your content won't be built in a day. But apart from your quotes and your value-added content, now let's look at your value-added content. Value-added content adds value to someone. It improves the person. It's an educational content. If somebody is struggling with time management, can I give the person a list of things they can do to improve their time management skills? So what I've done is I've gone to this place and I've typed list, and it has given me examples of list templates. I can just simply copy this list and then make the changes I want to make for this thing. Having a morning routine is a good one. Do simple yoga, drink gluten, but that may not be what I want to say. I may say, okay, I want to change this. I don't want it to be this way. I may not like the way this was up there, decide to change it, move the fonts around, but you get what I'm saying. Are there 5 morning routines or 5 things people can do to make them improve the way they get things done? If you have 5 things, then you can write those 5 things here. You can just change this to the 5 things you want the person to do, add other elements, change the colors, and then you will do that. So let's look at 5 things we want people to do when it comes to managing their time. This one gives us 4. So I will take this up and then I would group this way, make this. So now this gives me 5. I can then say text. So what I'm just using is the format. I'm not using everything the format has given me. And I can look at this, put this way and say 5, increase the font to 300. And now the design has become something different from what you have. So what I wanted to talk to people today about is, even if you have been given a calendar that is ready-made and you're creating your designs, play with your fonts, play with the design, make a few changes to them, and you'll be able to see your design come alive and take a different shape entirely. So if you're like 5, what should we say? Who wants to give me something we can say about 5 when it comes to time management? 5 what?
5 ways to effectively manage your time.
5 ways to effectively manage your time. So we can do 5 ways to effectively manage your time. I don't even know who is on the call. That sounds like Dante. 5 ways to effectively manage your time. All right, so we said 5 ways to effectively manage your time, and you can decide to do it whichever way you want to move it around. Say you don't want it curved again. So if we don't want this curved, we have to go to effects and remove the curve completely. So this takes the curve away completely, and then we have it this way. So 5 ways to effectively manage your time. It's the same template I got from Canva, but I've changed it a little bit. And I don't care if anybody sees the other parts as the same, but I've changed this a little bit. And I can say, okay, I still want it to be a bit different. I can decide to add another line here to make it a black line, but this isn't straight completely. And one thing I love about Canva is that it gives us the grids to follow. This may not be your font. You change the font to your font, and then it becomes your header font. It becomes something entirely different for you. Another thing I would say, when you're designing and you're trying to get your rules, show your rulers if you want to. It's not compulsory. Show your guides. It shows you different things, and show your margins. So if you were printing this, it's already out of the margin, but we're not printing, so we can break all the rules we want to. But it just helps you plan, position your things properly. And 5 ways to effectively manage your time. If you're still not okay with it, leave it this way for now. You already know that, yeah, you want to write 5 ways to effectively manage your time. If you have your own tips of what you do to effectively manage your time, then write them out. If not, you can get ideas from books, ideas from podcasts, and different things. So you can leave this like this and then move to another design so that you are getting all your designs ready. If you say, okay, apart from 5 ways to effectively manage your time, I was talking about what podcast entrepreneurs should all listen to. I feel that all entrepreneurs should always listen to podcasts. Then I would type podcast. So I'm like, okay, I can decide to take this, I can decide to go down, and I can decide to do whatever I want, but I'm recommending a podcast. I'm not recording, because for now, the entrepreneur, we are trying to improve the lives of these people, make them better at the way they do things. And one day to make them better is by giving them recommendations. Remember, we have our topics there, so we can just say, the best marketing podcast to listen to, and then have it as a carousel post or something else. But we already know that that is on podcast that they can listen to. And the best marketing podcast. And then you now give your recommendation of the best marketing podcast or productivity podcast. I will say listen to Asian Efficiency, or you can do it this way, which I think is a better way, looking at this design. And you can now list 3 marketing podcasts that people can listen to. So rather than taking it as episodes, I will take this as a different way to list 3 different podcasts I think everybody should listen to. What is the aim of what we are doing? We are creating a content calendar in minutes based on what we've said we want to talk about: time management, books, and this. So we have to go back to that document. We said lack of organization is this thing, a problem that small businesses face. So lack of organization is a problem. So how to be organized, how to get things done, how to improve the way you get things done. I've copied lack of organization. And when I click out lack of organization, I will just come here and take it off. So we've said lack of organization. You go back to your planner. Sorry, you go back to your document, and then you have the lack of organization here. You're not worried about design for now. What you're trying to do is move your topics from year to year so that when you are creating, you are just focused on one document and you don't forget any other thing. Remember, we said this is for a month, and some of the topics that can flow into another month. We've said tools and resources. Are there apps that have helped you? Do you think people should think on paper? We've looked at books, we've looked at productivity, we've looked at almost everything. How to improve? Is there anything that tells you how to improve? We've not looked at our promotional content yet. We'll look at promotional content. We are looking basically at brand awareness and value-added content. We'll repeat what this type of content are. And if anybody wants me to use their brand as an example, I will. Your brand awareness and value-added content are why your customers come to you, because they see you as the source that they can rely on. If I'm a teacher and I'm telling people how to read, how to study, what are the ways you can understand, people will trust me, because when I'm teaching, I'm not just going to teach them to cram. I'm going to teach them how to study for who they are. If I'm a teacher and I'm recommending books that you need to buy or websites that you need to go to in order for you to not waste money buying books that you will not use after the day your exam ends, people will begin to trust me. People trust you because of the value you add to them. You want your page to be more value-oriented than sales-oriented. And this is what I mean. We are not creating a catalog, we are creating a magazine, because if you flip through any magazine on the aisle, you're going to see, a quote on one page that will talk about how you are today and something about what you need to do. You're going to see something on time management. You're going to see something on how to improve yourself. Before we even start selling this thing, we know lack of organization is a problem before we even start selling. So we've done like 4 posts. We're just going to do 7 posts today. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we'll do the promotional posts depending on what you are promoting. You want your calendar to be balanced. Let me see by show of hands who we have here. All right, Obi. All right, you want your calendar, Dante, you on this, you want your calendar to be balanced. So for example, Obi teaches languages and she's teaching people how to read Igbo and speak Igbo. She has to kind of have entertaining content about memes about language. Remind people of how it was when they started. Talk about being multilingual or polyglots. Conversations like that will make parents understand that the mother tongue is important. She's not only going to say, I have a course that will get your child speaking Igbo in 5 days. She would say that, but in addition to that, she's also going to improve the lives of our clients by helping them to find that time to come for our course, adding value to them because she understands what they need. What they need is to embrace their culture. What parts of the Igbo culture can she talk about that will add value? When an Igbo woman ties one judge, she's married, she's not married. She ties 2 judges to the left, she's married. Those little things that people have taken for granted. What the significance of kola nuts? Simple things that will be like, wow, we bring back memories. And they'll be like, you know what? I want my children to know all these things. How can you add value to these people without even them buying from you? Because some people that understand the language or are social media managers, in case of Dante, or people that already have cooking cylinders may know somebody that needs that service, but you think because they already speak the language, they are not your target audience. You want to bring this kind of nostalgic feeling into what they are doing. And it's very easy to do that. So we've set a podcast, but we've not done anything entertaining or anything at all. So you can look at something like this for a social media manager is a very good one, especially when katakata busts. But you'll be like, okay, I don't want all these things, but I don't want this meme. By looking at the memes to just see how they've done them and how you can do this. How you can do something Similar. Someone says my expression when I withdraw 100 from my crypto after investing 110,000. Okay, think about your expression when someone tells you that it's impossible to teach a child a foreign language. Oh, that your child you should not speak Igbo to your children, or something simple. So look at the memes that people have done and get memes. Get memes, get different things. So this is a simple one that anybody for any brand can use. Cat lovers, animal lovers will love this. This is another simple one that will get someone's attention. And this one that says attention, it's a simple, entertaining post. But it says, attention, don't read the small letters. How many of you read the small letters when they say don't read the small letters? I hope are all good people because I was already going to the small letters.
I try to read it as well.
So you want to stop the scroll. You don't want to sell all the time. So let's think about people being on social media to have fun, not necessarily to always be sold to. The online class starts at 10 a.m., me at 9:59. All of us that have worked remotely can recognize this. They're like, oh, I have a meeting now. I need to be, bam. You quickly look for that. So if you're not sure how the memes work, look at what others have done for your entertaining memes, especially as Obi, you're doing something now. You're the person doing almost everything for your business. Customers, our team, customer service, finance, every single person. Once you're an entrepreneur, this can work for every single person. Sometimes start with the known, and then gradually you will start building your own. Sometimes we always want to reinvent the wheel. Don't. Start with what is there, then you fine tune it to suit yourself. Because if Unlocking does this thing for every small business team, you change that to that, change all this. You can just have a picture of one person smiling in all the roles, full stop. And that's it. Please have a little patience. We'll respond to you as soon as possible. It's just something realistic. Look up the gifts and memes that you can use and use them. People are online for you to entertain them. They're not there for you to preach at them. So think about what ways can I inspire people to be better without it seeming like I am being silly, because this meme works for every single person. Me, it will be TikTok that is here. TikTok will take a lot of my brain because TikTok, pizza, no, gaming, no, nap time, no. But you can now say, oh, what will my own clients think about, and change this to suit them inside your brain. Think out of the box when it comes to your content. So we said, okay, something entertaining, and just keep on looking for conversation starters or whatever you want to have conversations with people. We're just doing like a random fast content creation plan just in case you don't have time. And everybody that has changed passwords has gone through this. They say change your password again. Your password is this. You are like, oh, you're tired. You don't know what password to pick this time. So you've said you want to use this meme. You don't want to use this or that things. Take them off. You don't need them. And add what you want to add. Remove what you want to remove. If you use the paid version of Canva, it's as simple as just going to the one that you are using and changing the color for everything. It's as simple as that. And if we change everything, you can apply it to all pages. But let's be a bit more creative when it comes to looking at the memes and everything. There's some of you that save memes on your phone. Use them. There's some of you that use all these stickers. Use them. Use them, observe, and see how people will engage with your page. People are online not for you to sell to them all the time, but you are here to sell. So on day 7, we will get another quote and we will then go to the other ones. So we've looked at value-added content. We've looked at quotes and let's look at reminders. We've used the list feature. So I'm just showing you all the features that I use. I also use the reminders feature because if I want to talk to people about the events I have coming up that I want them to see the dates, I can use one that is as simple as this. If I want people to do something specific, I can use one that is as simple as this. and have a picture, make a couple of changes and make it suit me. Put my own quotes. This is what I like. I like this one. I haven't seen this one before. So this is somebody says, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to work with you. You can fine tune this specific one to suit you. You have your picture here. Somebody wants to, oh, Obi, I want to take a course. I don't know what to say, do. Oh, have a look at my website, book a call or register for my free webinar, book a call. And if you have a community, join my community or join my email list. But it's done in such a creative way that you are just taking the design and you are not taking more than that. So you can just copy it and move it if you want to. If you don't want to keep the same design, if you're like, oh, I don't like this or that things, you don't have to like it. You can decide to put a picture in the background of a laptop in this one and it will still work. Experiment when it comes to your design. Today, we're just looking at designing from a calendar and seeing how that works. Now, you said we have a couple of promotions coming up and a couple of events. One promotion we have is the workshop. So if we look at the workshop, we have to think about, okay, it's an email marketing workshop. Email marketing workshop. It's a webinar. And I think the dates should be, I don't know if Emma is here now. So there's an email marketing webinar. If she was here, I would have asked her a couple of questions. But you have to think about, oh, what are the features of this webinar? Is it a one-day webinar that focuses on, I will have the details for the webinar for you guys by tomorrow if Emma doesn't join us. Building your email list. I'm just making this thing. What are the benefits? After building your email list, what do you stand to benefit? You understand the emails to write. So we look at your email sequence, improve conversion, increase sign-ups, 90%. Many people sign up for free webinars and they don't attend. Why? So she's like, okay, I'm going to give you an email marketing webinar. It's a one-day webinar that focuses on building your email list. It's free, but this is what you get. You get a workbook. You get an email sequence. You get email templates. You get your subjects and every other thing she tells you to do. Who is it for? It's for entrepreneurs. She said who it's for. Why do they need it? Because they need to build their lead magnets. How will they use it? They will use it to. So she's going to tell us everything. Objections, what will prevent somebody from signing up? The person is like, oh, person has signed up for so many other things and they didn't take the courses, or it did not give them any improvement. If they want to gain visibility, how would they use it? The email list, convert, increase sales, or downloads if it's a podcast like Dante here. So we've looked at how they will use it. And the objections is webinars are useless. Now, if somebody tells you webinars are useless, as someone that is organizing the webinar, your first reaction is to be defensive. So now someone that says webinars are useless, and how am I going to respond to that? Am I going to tell the person, maybe it's all the ones you've been taking and react emotionally? Why do they say webinars are useless? Dante, for the fact that you've taken webinars, what's your approach to webinars when someone tells you to sign up for a webinar? Are you eager to sign up or this thing?
It depends on. I would have to really look at what the person is offering, because sometimes most of those things can just be clickbait.
Mm-hmm.
So Yeah, what they're offering is really, really important. It has to be stated clearly, and in some way in that communication, it has to also sound genuine and authentic.
Mm-hmm.
If not, I just keep it because sometimes you join this webinar and they just give you scraps and then tell you, okay, drop your email, or want to get the master course of this is what you can do to blah 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 blah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So now we've said, oh, these are the objections people are. Who is this person? What do they offer? Why are they qualified? Why now? I can do this later. My business is not going anywhere. I can attend the webinar later. I do not have time. Oh, I'm busy. I do not have time. Is it authentic? Is it a sales funnel? Now, for everybody here creating a product, we want to create a sense of urgency and make them understand that they need to buy it now at the price that we're offering, even if the price we're offering is free. And the price we're offering, and they need to buy it from us. I always say this, people can pay for your attention, or they can pay you with attention or pay you with money. So if we want to now create a flyer based on what we have here, it's a lot easier for us. Because when somebody says, Dante, I need you to create a flyer, I'm doing a webinar. Oh, you're like, what do you have for? What are the benefits? We stop here. We don't really look at the objections. So now that you know the objections, the keywords and everything you use to design the webinar will actually show up when you're creating your copy, because you're answering the questions before they ask the questions. When you're doing your landing page, you're answering these questions before they even ask the questions. You are able to better promote it without being defensive. Because if I've created a webinar, I know the webinar is good. My tribe knows the webinar is good. But that little person over there that is just like, all these email marketers have come again, another webinar. What is this one even saying? And it comes to podcasts. Oh, this one is creating another course. What is this one saying? Oh, I paid somebody to learn Igbo. They taught me Igbo in secondary school. I did not learn. So you cannot teach Igbo in a classroom. That is an objection you should address. Igbo cannot be taught it can only be passed from mother to father. It's an objection you should address. Yeah, like a structured way helps a child. Yes, a child can learn to speak at home, but there are better ways. Is a child going to eat with Igbo? Why should they go and learn this? Like when they should go and learn French, they should go and learn German, there are other languages they can go and learn. They can go for ballet classes. Talk about the importance of culture, why we don't want to lose our cultural heritage. Those are the kind of things you will put in your email that you're sending and in your flyer that will make people understand why they should sign up. Because if I'm looking at the Igbo class one, I'll be like, languages cannot be taught within 2 hours, cannot. Obi, if you're still with us, what are the objections? Yeah, what do you think about what I said about languages cannot be taught in class?
I mean, I recently got a similar question from a parent recently, and she was saying to me that, first of all, she asked me what is your success rate and how I want my child to actually be fluent. Is it possible? And I just had to give her examples because her child has learned Spanish from class and is literally fluent in Spanish. So I told her, but the reason why he has become fluent in Spanish is because he has been immersed in the environment. In America, they live in America. One of the major languages besides English language is Spanish. So he's got Spanish friends in school. It's taught. It's a second language, to be honest. A lot of people speak Spanish. So he's in that environment. So I told her, for this to work, you as mom and dad have to be involved. You speak it fluently. You need to create that environment for the child to hear Igbo as well. So I'll do the teaching, but at home, speak it at home. Just speak it. So I don't know if I've answered your question, but
yeah, you've answered the question. Yeah. But that's one thing. That's one way to answer it. So yes, it has answered the question that I can teach in class, but the child has to practice. What is your success rate? I have a very high success rate. A child came to me not knowing how to speak Igbo. In a couple of weeks, they could actually hold conversations in Igbo. A girl was married into an Igbo family. She wanted to be able to say certain things to her in-laws in Igbo and understand the language, and she was able to do that. So by sharing other people, we didn't even include user-generated content in there, by sharing success stories, and that's why people have testimonials at the bottom of their websites. By sharing other people's success stories, what you're doing is you're answering those objections that people have, and you're pulling down the barriers. Because people are just like, Igbo. My child should be learning Spanish and French. Everybody is going to K-pop. Maybe they should go and learn Korean instead, or Chinese. I don't want them to learn Igbo. If a parent tells you that, even if you don't have a response now, start thinking of a very educated response that is not, and you have to understand our language, our parent. No. How do we respond when somebody is there to actually question us in a way that does not make us to reduce ourselves? What is your success rate? Are you going to force the child if the child doesn't want to participate? Because the child also has to participate in order to learn the language. Everybody has a different learning style. Some people are visual learners. Everybody understands that. So you now start talking to children, parents, about how children learn. Oh, my child is just 2. I don't think they can use your class yet. What age do you start taking people in? You've started looking at, when their siblings are in class, I want her to also be in class. How do you respond to all these things? Because what you're being is proactive, not reactive. I always talk about us being proactive, and being proactive is anticipating what people will say and giving a response to it before they say it. Being reactive, you are taking off guard. So a parent just comes to you and asks you a question that you'd never thought about, and you are taking off guard, and you have to give a quick response, and then you are losing somebody. But if you are being proactive, you've sat down, be as critical as you can be of your service, break it down to the bare minimum. What will somebody question? Okay, how do I answer to this? By still looking at the benefits and taking it, turning the table back to them, because that's what you're doing. We'll talk about, because from these barriers, one way you can fix it is you're sharing other people's success story, which is what we call user-generated content or social proof. That's what you want to do. You want to share what others are saying about what you've done. Let others talk about you. If you understand that talking about this may be difficult for you, show the progress. All right, today is this date. Take a recording of yourself and say what you know about Igbo. In 3 months' time, we will do another video, and they can see their own progress. So it's about thinking of creative ways to even get the person involved. And then you can ask their permission to share those videos. Or when I first of all started, this is how I was. Now, a couple of months later, this is how I am now. People will be able to see the progress. Video testimonials work. But in case we don't have video testimonials, written testimonials, ask people. How do we ask for feedback? We'll figure that out when we are looking at getting feedback from people. The week we look at social proof. But for now, I just want you to think about value-added content that you can create that will not necessarily talk about buying from you, but we shine the spotlight about the importance of what you bring to the table. Why should they trust you? What was your track record even when it comes to Igbo? What are the things that you saw that were not being done right, that you are correcting through your own unique way of teaching the language that others are not doing? As a social media manager, what are the ECOP social media managers give? And what are ways you can help them improve? As anything you're doing, think about this. A value-added content or educational content is content that improves them without asking them to buy from you. Talking about kola nut is an Igbo culture. Whenever an Igbo meeting never starts with until kola nut has been broken or something like that. And everybody will say, oh, that's so true. This brings back memories or something like that. Just think about Igbo proverbs that you can share, Igbo tools you can share. But what you're doing is you're teaching the language and adding value to those people, encouraging them, but they're not neglecting the courses and things that you're selling. And sometimes what you're doing is social listening. You're listening to understand what people are saying about what you are bringing to the market. And you bring it out in a way that they will be like, wow, this is what I always needed. That's what we want to do with the content that we create. So when it comes to our value added content, we are thinking about other things we can do to promote ourselves. If you, so promotional content, we are selling. So sometimes I would just put sell and see what flyers are there and use them as inspiration for what I want to do. If it's a workshop, I will just type workshop or a webinar. There are other flyers that other people have done that I can use, or let's use webinar instead. Don't try one thing and give up. Don't try one thing and give up. Try a few things, combine a few things and get what you need for your own. So we said, okay, we're going to do one webinar. So we understand that this is the email marketing webinar. Then we also have the, if we are part of a panel or you are a guest on something, you can have that. If you have a webinar, have more than one version of your webinar. Put that out there. Redesign this to suit yourself. But when you're creating, I start with doing my brain dump on Canva by looking at the words I want, what I want to create, and then using that as my yardstick to now go and create more. This now gives me, so the time I come on Canva to design later, I'm focused. I'm not running from pillar to post. I can do at least 3-4 posts comfortably out of these ones that I have done and move on. So we are going to be bulk creating. Bulk creation is your success key. It's the strategy you're going to use to be able to create time to learn. The industry we are in is fast-paced because you still have to do social listening. You still have to go out there, listen to what others are doing. We'll talk later about conversations that you can be part of, how you can comment on pages. We're going to talk about engagements and so many other things in February. But today is just this. When you're bulk creating, always refer back to your plan. If you've taken a few out, go back to your plan. If you're not sure, if you think your product has not been broken down and you still don't understand the product again, come back to this mini version of this product breakdown and do it. If you want one for podcast, the same thing. Podcast. This is my podcast. What are the features of my podcast? Oh, I host a podcast alone on Convertible Conversation. What do I stand to gain? You learn other people's perspectives and blah, blah, blah. Who is it for? Why do they need to listen? How do they listen? When should they listen? Or when do they contribute? What should prevent them from listening? These just helps plan. It's about planning and implementing, and always refer back to your plan. Because now that I've referred back to my plan, I can see that I didn't talk about Twitter Space. I didn't talk about Planner, but I may be exhausted at that point in time and decide to shut down for now and come back to it later. Don't try and do everything at the same time. It's time you'll be able to come up with your own way of doing it carefully, because we didn't even go for the lack of organization, distraction, poor planning, and all these things. But this is a month worth of content, not a day or a week. So take it one day at a time. We didn't recommend books. We talked about podcasts. Last week we mentioned that we'll talk about Asian Efficiency, which I believe is one of the best productivity podcasts and stuff like that. But the goal should be at the back of your mind. My goal for this month is about productivity. So most of the things you're going to see me doing will be based on this. How do I help people get things done in a way that will not make them exhausted? What tools can they have? Okay, they are broke. They don't have money to pay for all the gadgets that we want them to use. How can we simplify it? Do they need to get a graphic designer to design for them. No, they just need to know the keywords to search for, and they can create things by themselves. All right. I'm going to stop here because it seems I've gone over. Any questions, observations, feedback, or anything that anyone wants to say? No questions? All right. If there are no questions,
Sorry,
I
I have a
will.
question. Sorry.
Okay, sure.
Do you normally use? I mean, we've talked about, or we've taught productivity and books on productivity. Do you use any productivity tools to help you to attain that level of productivity, if I can say that? Are there any tools that you use, or do you just go with the flow because you're used to it already?
Initially, when I started, I've gone through different versions of myself when it comes to productivity. And what I do is, before I start working, I do a brain dump. So first of all, me, it's about clearing my head. I'm hypervigilant. My mind is always very busy. I'm thinking of 10 million ideas. So it's about understanding yourself. Now, I understand myself. I have a manual timer. I don't check WhatsApp. I know that certain things will distract me. I don't check my emails. I know that will distract me. It's about understanding that getting organized is more about what works for you than works for any other person. Having said that, there are a couple of books that I have read that have helped me improve the way I see work, and it has improved the way I work. So first one is Miracle Morning by Al Elrod, and he talks about the fact that that sometimes we need silence in order to get things done. And with the no gragra, I talked about the power of silence. So the savers is about silence, affirmation, visualization. The S is for silence. So many times we are so busy that we forget that being productive is more about us owning who we are. And if we don't shut out the noise, we can't even see where we are going. We are running everybody's race by our own. We have so many tasks to complete, but we just need to understand that we have to complete those tasks. So it talks about the routines. People say they're early birds and they're night owls, but everybody has different obligations. So what I did, first of all, was to look at my week. I started this in 2016. What do I do on Mondays? What do I do on Tuesdays? Are there obligations that I have for the next 3 months? I write everything down. So every appointment and obligation, every single thing I have is written down. If it's not written down, it's not important. If it hasn't gotten into my diary, it's not getting done. So for me to do that, I have to become very strict and have to set boundaries with myself. And I have to be self-accountable. By being self-accountable, I mean that I'm not going to wait for anybody to tell me that I have not completed the task that I was supposed to, that I've told myself I want to. I would be honest with myself. So whether I complete it or not, I needed to be honest with myself. So the first, like I said, for me, it was self-acceptance and self-awareness. So I accepted, I'm aware of who I am. I've accepted who I am. I'm an introvert, so I'm not trying to be an extrovert. I work better on my own. So I understand that. But unlike most people, I live alone. So I control my time. I do not have other people around me. So when you're writing your obligations in the time log, Timmy, if you still have the time log, please send it to Obi. If not, Obi, I will look for it and send to you. With your time log that you keep after we have our one-on-one session for a week, it'll be like on Wednesdays, I have Bible study. Tuesdays, I have choir rehearsals. Wednesdays, Thursdays, the kids have rehearsals. They have this, they have that. You have 168 hours in a week. We need to account for the time that you have first. So we say, okay, Tuesdays, you can steal more time than Wednesdays. And you already know this. You're already good when it comes to that. You'll be like, oh, DK, I can do these days. I can't do Thursdays at this time. You already control your time. So that's a very, very big step that many people have not been able to achieve, that you've achieved, despite the fact that you have other obligations. So to me, that's the thing, controlling your time. Now you've controlled your time, but you've still not been able to sit down to say, what do you want to do? So I also have my goals and I have my time to reflect on how I have done. So every evening, and I put it in the no gragra also, I review my day. I ask myself a couple of questions and I answer these questions objectively. And it's important I do that. So I'll be like, okay, what worked today? What did not work? What changes am I making tomorrow? So basically, what worked today, maybe taking a nap works better for me. What did not work was, if everything works, I will not write anything. What changes am I making? Okay, order lunch, cook at this thing, put your phone aside, don't go to Instagram the first thing in the morning, don't go to TikTok in the evening. Simple things. Oh, what did not work? You have to understand that. The reason we are controlling our time and reviewing is most of the time we set goals and we want to do certain things, but we wait till the end of the year before we realize that we have not actually accomplished what we want to accomplish. So the best apps, the best tools, the best resources do not make you more productive. You make yourself more productive by understanding how you work, reflecting on how you work, rinsing, what Emma calls rinse and repeat, or rinse and resume. So it's not about trying something new every day, but it's about maybe creating a routine that works for you, taking your own obligations, your current circumstances into consideration, and making sure that you are showing up for yourself and not for other people. So for me, it's thinking on paper. For somebody else, it may be journaling in a more in-depth way than I do. So somebody else, it may be using an app to track every single thing. People may be like, oh, this year I have 5 weddings, but those 5 weddings, are they within my budget? Okay, I won't get Ashrebi for the weddings, but I will attend. Or if I have to go for a wedding, I have to look for a tailor. If I have to go to tailor, the tailor is in North Greenwich, I'm in Edgware. That's a distance. I have to travel all that way. But yeah, so it's not the day before the wedding, you now remember that you have to do all these things. So if you do it in 90 days circle, where you've sat down and said, between now and March, what are the obligations I have? What are my non-negotiables? What are the ones that I cannot get out of? Okay, I now know this. I know that, okay, this first week I can get 5 days, but the next week I can get 2 days. Make those 2 days count because you've planned for those 2 days in advance. So it's not when that week comes, you now start rushing and saying, oh, I didn't know I won't have time this week. Although it doesn't always work out the way we want it to. So one other thing I had to learn the hard way was letting go of perfectionism. It held me back for a couple of years because I always wanted to do every single thing perfectly. And if it wasn't perfectly done, it wasn't done. I just would not start. I won't start if the time is not right, the weather is not right, everything is not right. I'm not going to take a step. Sometimes we think in our head and we don't take steps. We don't reflect on what we've done and we don't have a support system. So apart from that, another thing I have is a support system. I have my mastermind girls, I have Emma, I have Doing, I have recognized people that I can call when I am struggling, when I don't know what to do. I had a speaking engagement on Saturday. Friday, Emma and I sat down and we reflected on what I wanted to do. So she held me accountable, but she also supported me because she knew that I was struggling and I haven't gone out in 2 years. That was going to be my first engagement. And I'm a natural speaker, but I still need to prepare. I know myself. I'm not going to be overconfident and say I will just wing it. Yes, I know I can be put on the spot to speak and I would, but that doesn't mean I will not improve myself. I don't know what number I am on now, but I just realized that the only person I'm in competition with is myself. I'm not in competition with Emma. We should be in competition. I always say this. Emma and I should be in competition. We get the same clients. We practically do the same thing, but we are not. We both understand what we bring to the table, and rather than trying to fight with each other, we collaborate. I see what she brings. She sees what I bring. I know what I bring, and no one can tell me that I don't bring something. So I'm so self-aware that I have understood that I am a force to be reckoned with, and I am trying to be better than today than I was yesterday. So the 2016 version of me is different from the 2022 version of me because I have sat down with myself consistently to say, what did I do wrong? If I did something wrong, I will accept it. If I did something right and I know that all things being equal, every decision I have made as a Christian, I know that I will stand before God and beat my chest and say, I have done what God says I should. I will put that to, I will talk about that with God and ask God, okay, was it a thing of pride that made me make this wrong decision? Is there anything that I can do that can make me improve my relationships? So another important factor for me is my relationship with God. I see God as the centerpiece of every single thing I do. And when it comes to productivity, I have also read gospel-driven approaches to productivity and getting things done. In 2016, when I was hosting my radio show, that's what the focus became on. It became on how can we as Christians use the gifts God has given us to improve the way we get things done. And we're going to work on that, like I said, when we're doing our one-on-one sessions. But it's about understanding that everyone is different. For some people, it's an alarm clock. My alarm clock can go off. If I'm not ready to wake up, I won't wake up. I use a manual timer, a Pomodoro clock when I'm working, so I don't have to look at my countdown timer or my clock or my phone. So I eliminate distractions. I understand that, oh, I had to cut down on so many things. I used to see my godchildren almost every other week. I couldn't see them for 8 months. I had to make sacrifices to be able to finish the books that I wanted to finish. The No Gragra took me a week. The other one took me how many months? It took me longer than we anticipated. We thought it would come out November. It came out when? Sometimes we don't realize that the little things we do every day are actually improving us. We want to see the big changes. We don't embrace the small changes that we get. Even if it's a change in your mindset, it's a change. You were not seeing it the same way you were before. But as individuals that live in a critical environment where people have criticized and judged us all our lives, we do not understand that we bring something to the table, even if it isn't golden. Every little day that your mindset shifts is important to you getting things done properly. Getting things done your way. There's a framework I have that I call decisions that work. And it's simply about making decisions that work for the person you are now, not the person you wish you should be. So it's about trial and error. You will try, and don't be afraid to say, I've tried it, it did not work. Oh, okay, I didn't give it all my heart. Probably that's why it didn't work. Don't be afraid to say that. Sometimes when we try and it doesn't work, we just abandon ship and run away. We don't sit down and count the cost. Okay, what did I do? What can I do better? So I have my weekly reflections. I have my monthly reflections. And I started doing the monthly reflections with my team this morning, where I ask them the questions I ask myself. I have my monthly reflections. Okay, what are my top 5 achievements for this month? Until I said that, I forgot I did a book launch this month. So I had a book launch, I had a speaking engagement. I didn't take enough books to the speaking engagement. I just took the ones Pastor Abby bought paid for, and people wanted more books, and I was shocked. So yeah, I can keep on talking for hours on this, but yeah, that's it. Hope I've not confused everybody with all the things I was saying.
Good, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. Today there'll be no working. I think it's just a time for reflection and thinking about how you want to do your content plan. Obi, you and I will have a conversation later on this week to talk about how we want to meet and how often we want to meet. And we will set up our plan and our calendar for our one-on-one so that you can know how often we are going to meet with regards to your goals or anything we need to set. I believe that will be quite helpful for you moving forward, because I think you still have the opportunity. All right. If there are no questions, we meet again on Monday. However, we're still here tomorrow for co-working sessions. The co-working sessions are simply time for you to come and get work done. Come and get work done. 2 hours a day. It will shock you the work you can do when you focus for 2 hours. We will set the timer and we'll talk for 5 minutes. If you join 5 minutes before, that will be great. So we can do that before the clock strikes 8. I mean, is it 7? Same thing, Dante. Before the clock strikes 7, and then we will now figure it out from there. But Wilson, welcome. We just finished, although the replay is on the YouTube channel, but it's something that you've gone through with us before. I just wanted to go through the content creation sprints with people and see how they can get things done. Hopefully, it will help you guys create content. Yeah, Wilson.
Yeah, DK, good evening. How are you?
I'm great. It's great to hear your voice. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Sorry for coming in late. I had to do one or two things.
That's all right. The replay is on the YouTube channel, and we do this every Monday. But the other days of the week, we have co-working sessions. So you can just join for the co-working sessions and get work done. Basically, like I said, the co-working sessions we'll get work. Sometimes we'll do brainstorming sessions. So we can pick one brand, put it on the hot seat, break it apart. Why are we struggling with this brand? And everybody will now decide how we want to help the brand improve. If it's for a paid client, we probably will not record it. But I think we should do EG this week. Timei, so please, you guys should, and Gloria, fix a date for that so that everybody will know in advance the day we're doing that. And that we'll just call that a brainstorming session. And let's come and brainstorm and see how we can help market properly. Why are people not buying? What do we need to do to get people to buy these services? Is it the language? Is it the design? What do we need to do? Everybody will come and put their own spin on it. But yeah, any questions about content creation sprint? So you guys, are we expecting your own content creation for February done by tomorrow? Catherine and Elsie and Dante, I want to see your content plans and what you will come up with topic wise and everything wise. You had that last week, and then I want to see you transfer it to Canva, because I think that will be quite useful. But the DIY YouTube branding, DIY branding YouTube channel, Wilson, you're already subscribed. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe to our channel. Dante, this last part that I spoke about, I think I want to split that part up into a separate video. So I don't know if you'll be able to help me do that. But without further ado, I don't want to keep you guys too late. We have a Bible study on Thursdays, so you guys could please join us. Every Thursday, we have a virtual Bible study. And